Right now at 5, people 65 and older.
And we also have mostly fair skies across the area, but we have some showers in the forecast. We'll have details.
Kansas Governor Laura Kelly talks about legislative priorities during her next 4 years as governor.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. and I'm Cale Chapman.
Well, you said that with gusto.
You got to get excited. It's the start of the day.
We got to pump ourselves up this morning, putting toothpicks under the eyelids this morning. It's a pretty nice day across the area. We're going to see warm temperatures and also a little bit of showers, but not too much of a problem for weekend plans, but we'll get to that in a second. But right now, let's take a look outside. And you can see on the range line cam, looking pretty nice for the traffic this morning. And if you're heading out and about, well, looks like we're going to talk about on this date, back on January 6th of 1988, Joplin had 2.7 inches of snow with a low of 12 and a high of only 19. Fortunately, we're not seeing anything like that today. Let's take a look and go on. Well, I'm having a computer problem here, so I apologize. Let's see if we can jump past this and get back into our forecast. Let's see. All right, there we go. Maybe that'll work. All right, now let's try it again. We're going to go, there we go. Here's what we're watching for you. Increasing clouds today ahead of the next storm system, but we're going to have mild conditions, and then as we go into Saturday morning, some showers, and then as we head into Sunday, a little bit of a cold start and a chilly afternoon behind that storm system, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. Radar right now is all clear, and that's good news, but like I said, over the next 36 hours, that's going to be changing. You can see on the satellite view some clouds starting to move in from the west right now, and once those clouds start to thicken up later on tonight, we'll start to see those showers develop, especially up towards the north. Temperatures this morning are quite chilly. Grab the coat if you're heading out. 24 in Fort Scott, 26 in Iola, 26 in Yates Center as well. A little bit warmer down to the south in Bentonville, we're 30, as well as Neosho and 28 degrees over in Nowata. Now, when you factor in the wind, it feels a little bit colder out there. 22 in Chanute, 24 in Yates Center, 23 in Parsons, and 23 here in Lamar. So we're going to have a look at the entire forecast coming up in just a little bit, so stay with us.
All right, well, thank you, Sam. 5 mutual aid departments are responding to a commercial structure fire in Delaware County, Oklahoma. On Thursday, reports at about 1:15 in the morning alerted Cowskin Fire Department to a commercial structure fire at King Point Resort on Grand Lake. Firefighters responded and battled the blaze for an extended period of time during the early morning. Additional firefighters from Grove, Butler, Hickory Grove, Monkey Island Fireboat, and the Seneca Cayuga Tribal Fire all joined the fight. Units remained on scene until 8 a.m. Authorities say there were no injuries to occupants or firefighters. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. And authorities in Wheaton, Missouri are searching for an armed robber. The robbery happened early Thursday morning. Authorities say the man robbed the Fast Trip in Wheaton at gunpoint. They say he demanded money and left the store with an undisclosed amount. He then drove north on Missouri 86. If you have any information that might help, you should contact the Wheaton Police Department. And Pittsburgh drivers should expect some detours starting today. Road construction begins on South Rouse Street. Traffic will be moved from the west side of South Rouse Street to the east side of South Rouse. Drivers will also be able to use East Quincy at the Rouse intersection. For a full breakdown of detour routes, download the KOAM News Now app. There's a healthcare option for Joplin and older residents. On Thursday morning, Mercy held a ribbon-cutting ceremony for its new Mercy 65 Prime Plus clinic. It will focus on serving Medicare patients, those 65 years and older. Officials say it provides a more intensive primary care experience, which is frequently needed for seniors.
We are going to have longer appointment times. So instead of a typical 15-minute doctor appointment, they're going to be 30 minutes. If they're having their annual wellness visit, we have that planned for an hour. So we have plenty of time to go over any of their needs, make sure that they have everything taken care of at home. We can set them up with home health if that's what they need, really just spending time with them.
The clinic is located at 2216 East 32nd Street between Rangeline and Connecticut Avenue. As Kansas Governor Laura Kelly looks to begin her second term in office, the Democrat will have to contend again with the Republican supermajority control in both the House and Senate. She started laying out her key priorities for the next 4 years, but the legislature will be the determining factor in what and how much she's able to get done. Reporter Sean Lodging sat down with the governor about some items expected this season.
In a week, Governor Laura Kelly will make her pitch of priorities to the Kansas legislature with her State of the State address. But Wednesday morning, she took part of her plan to a Wichita child care center, outlining her Axe the Taxes. Talk about why those are key priorities for you heading into the second term.
Well, I've been looking for any way I possibly can to provide some tax relief for Kansas families in particular, particularly given the inflation that we've all been living through.
There are 3 parts to the plan, including an immediate elimination of the state's food sales tax rate rather than the phased approach passed last year. She's proposing other items be included in that elimination.
We will be adding diapers and feminine hygiene products to that food sales tax plan.
The next part is a back-to-school sales tax holiday on school supplies each August. Some Republican lawmakers historically have supported this idea. The last part is increasing the income limit for retirees before their Social Security income is taxed from $75,000 to $100,000.
So that more seniors get the relief that they need as they're trying to live out their lives on a fixed income.
But that will only be a small portion of what is discussed in the upcoming legislative session. Even with the amendment vote last August, abortion will almost certainly be a debated issue in Topeka. Abortion legislation remains a priority for many Republicans and abortion right opponent groups. In my one-on-one interview with Governor Kelly, I asked her about this topic. Where do you come down on just any proposals or any changes to the state's abortion laws?
I have been very consistent in this. I've been in the legislature or the governor's office now for 18 years, and I have been consistent that I firmly believe that the decision, women's health care decisions, are between that woman and her physician and her family, and that politicians have no role to play.
It's an issue where Governor Kelly's veto power could have a significant say. For a 5th time, Governor Kelly says she will also introduce a plan for Medicaid expansion in Kansas. The last few years, GOP leadership hasn't supported expansion, including incoming House Speaker Dan Hawkins, citing in an op-ed last year that it would take away resources from the most vulnerable by adding eligibility to people.
Given that every state around us has expanded Medicaid, is that we're bleeding our healthcare workers. They're leaving Kansas to go work someplace they can actually get reimbursed for their services.
Governor Kelly also said she would propose getting to that full level for special education funding, but suggests doing it incrementally over the next few years. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up next on the KOAM Morning News, the Joplin Eagles take on the William Chrisman Bears in the first round of the Kaminsky Classic. We'll have who dominated on the court in sports. Plus, a library in Wisconsin decides to axe their late fees, which became a popular hit with patrons. And why being on social media can drastically affect a teenager's brain. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. Yesterday was the opening day of the Kaminsky Classic at Joplin High School. And of course, the Eagles are first on the schedule, facing the William Chrisman Bears in round 1. So let's take a look at the video. Joplin aiming for back-to-back tournament titles in this thing, coming into the day with a 5-3 record. And early on, look at the tough finish here from Collis Jones off the glass. Joplin leads by 4 after 1 second quarter. Quinn Renfro on the break, rises up and gets the lay-in. And then Renfro drives and gives it up to Terrence Gibson for the two-handed jam. Eagles keep the lead at 4 at the half. Third quarter is when they pulled away. All Right gets the hot hand, pull-up 3 for the Eagles. And then another, Wright finishes with a game-high 20 points. And then just moments later, Gibson all alone on the break, 15 points, 9 boards for Gibson. Joplin gets by William Chrisman in round 1, 53-45. After that one, it's Neosho taking on Francis Howell in their tournament opener. Neosho is 9-2, coming off a road win over East Newton. And in this one, the Wildcats fall 57-23. Collier Hendricks, the only one in double figures for Neosho, with 13 points. Then it's Webb City's turn. The Cardinals are on a 5-game winning streak coming into the night, facing the Jefferson City Jays. Huge double-double for Alex Martin, 22 points and 14 rebounds. Webb City gets by the Jefferson City Jays 66-62. Let's turn to local wrestling. In Pittsburgh, the Purple Dragons host the Columbus Titans. The boys' side, 138 pounds, Corbin McGinter, ranked third in the state in Class 5A, gets a win by fall. 43 seconds in, he's now 14-5 this season. Then in 157, J.J. White for Pittsburgh went into the second period with Caden Cox, but wins by fall to get a 17-2 this season. Now heavyweights, Jake Eddington for Columbus, 29 seconds in, wins his match by fall to finish the duel, but wasn't enough. Pittsburgh boys win over Columbus 55-24. Now on to girls, 105 pounds, Grace Knoll for Columbus in the final seconds of the third period gets a win by fall before the buzzer, and Pittsburgh responds at 110 pounds. Isis Galindo, just more than a minute into the match, gets a win by fall, and at that point it's 6-6, and it stayed tight, but the Titans did best what they were supposed to do. Addie Saporito here wins by fall at 1:20 late in the first period. So Pittsburgh and Columbus split the night. The Titan girls beat the Dragons 36-30. All right, both the Pittsburgh State Gorillas and Missouri Southern Lions were in action late night in MIAA conference play. Missouri Southern is in western Kansas facing the Fort Hays State Tigers. And on the women's side, the Lions are 12-2 coming into the night, ranked 11th in the nation. But it wasn't a good evening for them. Southern gets outscored 26-11 in the fourth, and they fell 72-54. Chrislyn Jones leads the way for the Lions with 15 points, and Maddie Stokes also in double figures with 12. After that, the Southern men hit the floor against the Tigers. The Lions kind of on a roll right now, winning 4 straight after beating rival Pittsburgh State on Monday. They make it 5 straight tonight, winning 68-56. And 4 players were in double figures for the Lions, with Vincent Sigmund Jr. leading the way with 16 points and 6 rebounds. The Pittsburgh State Gorillas were also on the road last night. The Gorillas were in Nebraska, facing Nebraska Kearney Lopers. And on the women's side, this is a big one for the Gorillas. UNK is 13-3, ranked 22nd in the nation. And Pitt State is looking for back-to-back wins over ranked opponents after beating Missouri Southern on Monday. But Kearney too good, winning 70-55. Another double-double though for Pitt State sophomore Karina Gerber. She goes 15 points and 10 rebounds. After that one, the Penn State men faced the Lopers, trying to bounce back from Monday's loss to Missouri Southern. But unfortunately, the Gorillas fall 63-61 on a pair of late free throws. Quentin Hardick scores a game-high 17 points for the Gorillas at Pitt State. Still to come, a dramatic rescue unfolds in India as a railway officer saves a passenger's life. And also, we're going to have a check of the 7-day forecast, which includes a chance of showers for your weekend when we return. Welcome back on this early Friday morning. It looks like a pretty nice day shaping up across the area. Radar is clear right now, but that's going to be changing as we head into the weekend because of a storm system that's organizing over the Rocky Mountains this morning that's going to be pulling out into the plains. You can start to see the clouds now starting to spread across Oklahoma. And the clouds here are going to start thickening up as we go through the daytime hours. Temperatures are quite chilly this morning, in the 20s in many locations. Check out Fort Scott. They're down to 24 right now, 25 in Nevada. Same thing in Stockton, 29 in Columbus. A little bit warmer down in Miami, where they're currently sitting at 30 degrees. And when you factor in the wind, this is what it feels like. It feels like 22 in Chanute and Neodesha, 23 in Fort Scott, 24 in Nevada. Feels like 30 down in Grove on the current hour. We're actually a little bit colder this morning than we were 24 hours ago. Generally around 1 to 7 degrees below normal, or below what we were yesterday at this time. And we're looking for a pretty nice day across the area, increasing clouds with a high of 54. Your lunchtime temperature about 52. By 5 o'clock we'll be down to around 50. And then as we head through the evening hours, around 47 at 8 o'clock. All right, let's take a look at the forecast for this afternoon. You can see the clouds kind of thickening up as we go through the day, with temperatures in the low to mid 50s, especially down to the south, a little bit cooler up towards the north. Then as we go through the afternoon and evening, we're going to see those clouds really increase and the showers start to break out as this storm system moves into our area. The best chance of showers is going to be up in our northern sections from, let's say, Allen County on over towards Fort Scott, and then into Bourbon County around Nevada. And then as we go through Saturday, this cold front's going to sweep through, changing our wind around to the north and west, and we'll start to see some colder air move in and some drier air as well. Then as we go through Saturday night into Sunday morning, the clouds will start to move away and temperatures will drop down into the 20s and 30s on northwesterly winds. Then as we go through Sunday afternoon, mostly fair skies, and the ridge of high pressure starts to build back in, so our winds kind of turn back around to the west with highs in the mid to upper 40s across our area. Then some more clouds come in Sunday night into Monday, but still we'll see temperatures around freezing as we head into Monday morning. And rain chances over the next 36 hours, actually 24 hours. Nothing really today, but as we go through tonight into tomorrow, that's when the rain chances start to increase, especially for our friends and folks up to the north. How much rain? Not a lot, just a little bit to wet the ground and put a little bit of rain in the rain bucket. But the heavier amounts are, of course, going to be up towards the north, where they can pick up almost 1/10 of an inch up there. But really, most everywhere is just going to get a sprinkle, if that. All right, here's over the next 7 days. 54 today, 49 on Saturday after those morning showers. Again, the best chance of that's going to be up to the north. A little bit cooler on Sunday with a high of 47, but then we jump right back into the 50s as we head through the rest of the work week, and then maybe another chance of rain on Thursday with a high of 52. That's a look at the forecast. Now, I want to talk to you about a public library in Wauwatosa. Wisconsin is putting an end to the late fees. That's a good thing. The city is hoping that this will make the library materials more accessible to more people. Mary Jo Ola spoke to some avid readers who are celebrating the move.
The library director says eliminating overdue fines is about improving everyone's access to a valuable resource that really belongs to the community.
He loves books, so he just plows through them.
You can probably tell Maria Rogowski's 4-year-old son, Avi, is quite the bookworm. Since Wauwatosa cut overdue fines for kids' materials a few years ago, Maria noticed how helpful that was.
It's always nice because when you get a lot of them, you sometimes forget 1 or 2 of them when you return them.
New this year, the library board expanded its fine-free policy to the young adult and adult sections. It essentially covers the entire collection. Turns out there are a lot of fans.
I think that's actually really great because it doesn't discourage people from checking out maybe more books than they would.
I think it's an excellent idea. Anything that encourages people to read and use the library. Such a precious resource.
So wonderful. I mean, I can remember as a kid, getting fines up to my parents' dismay, and then, not wanting to come to the library.
Library Director Peter Luffel says the overdue fines were once thought to get materials returned sooner.
The research shows that it doesn't have an impact, and in fact, it does present a barrier to access because it can discourage people from checking out materials at all.
Existing overdue fines will be waived for items returned late. People who don't return materials at all will still be on the hook to cover a replacement fee. Also, the fine-free policy only applies to materials owned by Wauwatosa's library. More libraries across the country are taking the fine-free approach. Luffel says those who got rid of the overdue fines have seen an increase in the number of items returned.
What we hope to see from this is just a greater engagement with the community. The libraries have a wealth of information available for the community, and it is their library, and we want to make it as easy as possible for them to use it.
Good idea. And that brings us to our question this morning. Should all libraries remove fines? Yes or no? We want to hear from you. Go to our website at koamnewsnow.com/vote on the KOAM app, Facebook, or scan the QR code. And we'll be back with Health Watch right after this.
Well, topping Health Watch this morning, scientists have developed a vaccine that could potentially both kill and prevent brain cancer from returning. Researchers at Brigham and Women's Hospital developed this new cell therapy that helps eliminate established tumors and promotes long-term immunity to brain cancer. The method trains the immune system to prevent cancer from recurring. Investigators tested their vaccine in advanced mouse models and had very promising results. Further research is needed before this even gets close to the marketplace, though. You might want to rethink working from home. A new study from University College London finds commuting to work is better for your mental health. Research shows that those who travel more than 15 miles are more likely to regularly see family and friends, while also visiting places frequently. Living in rural areas without much access to transportation has negative impacts on well-being, especially for adults over 55 who suffer from loneliness more than younger people. A new study finds too much social media can affect children's brains. Researchers from the University of North Carolina say during this critical development time for the brain, children are more sensitive to social media feedback in the forms of likes, shares, tags, and comments. This creates excitement to addictively check their phones, taking an activity that could positively or negatively impact them. Researchers cited a previous study that revealed 78% of teens check their phone 15 times a day, many constantly on Instagram and Snapchat looking for reactions to their posts. And multi-system inflammatory syndrome in children, also known as MIS-C, which primarily emerges after COVID-19, is more common and severe than previously reported. That's according to a new study published Thursday by JAMA Network Open. The condition causes inflammation in various parts of a child's body and can affect major organs. Though rare, it can be serious and even deadly. Through November, out of millions of COVID-19 cases in children, the CDC logged a total of roughly 9,000 cases and 74 deaths from MIS-C. The study also showed that there are significant racial disparities in cases. Hospitalizations were twice as likely among black children as they were among white children. And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching KOAM Morning News.
And thank you very much, Cale. We're going to look at the weekend forecast real quick. We have some Saturday showers and a cold Sunday morning and a cool Sunday headed for our area. Of course, I'll have all the details in your forecast coming up in just a little bit.
Good morning. I'm Cale Chapman with your KOAM News Update. Pittsburgh drivers should expect some detours starting today. Road construction begins on South Rouse Street. Traffic will be moved from the west side of South Rouse to the east side of South Rouse. Drivers will also be able to use East Quincy Street at the Rouse intersection. For a full breakdown of detour routes, download the KOAM News Now app. Authorities in Wheaton, Missouri are searching for an armed robber. The robbery happened early Thursday morning. Authorities say the man robbed the Fast Trip in Wheaton at gunpoint. They say he demanded more money and left the store with an undisclosed amount. He then drove north on Missouri 86. If you have any information that might help, you should contact the Wheaton Police Department.
And thank you very much. It looks like we're going to have a pretty nice day across the area. We're looking at 7th of range line on our camera, waiting for the sun to rise. We're going to see mostly fair skies this morning, but as we go through the day, we're going to see the clouds increasing from west to east ahead of the next storm system. But at least we're going to be on the mild side with temperatures in the 50s across our area. Right now, radar is all clear, but we're starting to pick up some showers down in central Oklahoma. And of course, I'll have all the details coming up in your forecast, including a look at the weekend when we return, so stay with us.
Right now at 5:30, people 65 and older now have an option for health care in Joplin.
And the radar this morning is all clear, but that's going to be changing as we head towards the weekend. We'll have the details in your forecast.
Also, new bills, new year. Missouri legislators are set to look at 10 bills dealing with abortion.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:30 and I'm Cale Chapman.
And I'm Sam Lane, sitting in for the vacationing Chris Warner.
Yeah. Well,
he deserves a day off every once in a while.
He does. He does a lot for us here, yeah.
He sure does.
All right, well, 5 mutual aid departments respond to a commercial structure fire in Delaware County, Oklahoma. 5 mutual aid departments are responding to that. On Thursday, reports at about 1:15 in the morning alerted Cowskin Fire Department to a commercial structure fire at King Point Resort on Grand Lake. Firefighters responded and battled to the blaze for an extended period of time during the early morning. Additional firefighters from Grove, Butler, Hickory Grove, Monkey Island, and the Seneca Cayuga Tribal Fire Department all joined the fight. Units remained on scene until 8 a.m. Authorities say there were no injuries to occupants or firefighters. The case of the fire is currently under investigation. And authorities in Wheaton, Missouri, they're looking for an armed robber. The robbery happened early Thursday morning. Authorities say the man robbed the Fast Trip in Wheaton at gunpoint. They say he demanded money and left the store with an undisclosed amount. He then drove north on Missouri 86. If you have any information that might help, you should contact the Wheaton Police Department. Pittsburgh drivers should expect some detours starting today. Road construction begins on South Rouse Street. Traffic will be moved from the west side of South Rouse Street to the east side of South Rouse. Drivers will also be able to use East Quincy Street at the Rouse intersection. For a full breakdown of detour routes, download the KOAM News Now app. And it's a new year, so that means new bills. After the U.S. Supreme Court struck down Roe v. Wade, laws across the country went into effect tightening abortion restrictions. That included Missouri. The new legislative session is underway, and Governor Mike Parson kicked it off with a prayer breakfast. More than 10 bills dealing with abortion are already filed for consideration by lawmakers. In the House, a bill would make it a felony to import, distribute, deliver, or make any prescription medication, drug, or other means to induce abortion. One Senate bill, if passed, would put in place civil actions for violations of state abortion laws. There are some other proposed changes to abortion law. One House bill would establish an act isn't abortion if done with intent to remove a fetus following spontaneous fetal death. Another House bill would create an exception for the abortion prohibition in cases of rape or incest. There's still a long way to go for these bills. They are read before chambers twice before being assigned to committees for discussion. The Missouri legislative session's last day is slated for May 12th. There's a healthcare option in Joplin for older residents. On Thursday, Mercy held a ribbon-cutting ceremony for its new Mercy 65 Prime Plus clinic. It will focus on serving Medicare patients, those 65 years and older. Officials say it provides a more intensive primary care experience, which is frequently needed for seniors.
So they will have regular visits that they come back. We will schedule them on their first visit so they'll know for the next year when all of their appointments are. And then we will have some same-day appointments beginning in March when our nurse practitioner starts. And once she's here, they can come here instead of having to go to walk-in clinics to get their care.
The clinic is at 2216 East 32nd Street between Rangeline and Connecticut Avenue. Well, this morning we are discussing getting rid of library fines.
Yeah, it's about time, don't you think?
Well, yeah, it could be a good idea.
Do you have any books that are still due?
Not me, luckily.
Me either, thank goodness. But you know, a library patron from Wauwatosa, Wisconsin has quite the bookworm for her son since they cut overdue fines for kids' materials a few years ago. The patrons have noticed how helpful it was, and new this year the library board expanded its fine-free policy to the young adult and adult sections, and it essentially covers their entire collection, and it turns out there are a lot of fans.
Well, the library director says the overdue fines were once thought to get materials returned sooner. Turns out existing overdue fines, they will be waived for items returned late. People who don't return materials at all will still be on the hook to cover a replacement fee.
Which brings us to our question, of course, should all libraries remove the fines? Be sure to go to our KOAMnewsnow.com/vote on the KOAM app, Facebook, or you can scan the QR code as well.
Heck yeah, we'd love to hear from you.
Yep. I love to go to the library and just kind of sit and just relax because it's so quiet.
It is.
You know,
it's
very, very relaxing. Just like the weather this morning. It's pretty calm and relaxing out there this morning. A little bit on the chilly side, though, if you're heading out and about. Radar is all clear, but that's going to be changing as we head into the overnight hours and tomorrow morning as we start to see a storm system moving in from the west. But until then, we're going to see increasing clouds today. So we'll start out mostly sunny this morning, but then the clouds will start to really increase. You can already see them thickening up across Oklahoma. It's all part of a bigger storm system that's now organizing over the Rocky Mountains. And as that pulls out into the plains, right towards our area, we'll start to see those showers develop across our region. Temperatures are, like I said, quite chilly this morning, so head out with the jacket. 23 in Iola right now, 27 in Chanute, a little bit up the road there in Yates Center, 25, 24 in Independence and Parsons. Here in the metro, it's around 30 degrees, so it is below freezing. And when you factor in the winds, look at this. Fort Scott, it feels like 19 right now, 22 in Nevada and in Stockton, 21 in Yates Center, 24 in Independence. A little bit warmer, but still quite chilly down in Grove, where it feels like 28 degrees. And we're running about 1 to 5 degrees colder this morning than we were last morning, so we've had a little bit more chill on the morning commute. And if you're planning your day, this is what we're expecting: a high of 54 today, Lunchtime around 52 with partly cloudy skies, then becoming mostly cloudy by evening with a 5 o'clock temperature of 50 degrees, and then we'll drop down into the upper 40s by 8 o'clock with those clouds really starting to increase. And if we take a look at the forecast for today, you can see clouds really increasing across our area with highs generally in the low to mid 50s across our area with southeasterly winds, bringing up the moisture. Then as we go through the overnight hours, here comes the showers along this warm front that's going to be sweeping across our area. And by tomorrow morning, we'll see that low pressure centered right around over Parsons with scattered showers up towards the north. And it'll be kind of a chilly rain too, with temperatures in the 30s with scattered showers, and then a little bit warmer south of that warm front with readings in the mid to upper 40s. And then once we go through the day, that cold front will sweep through, changing our wind direction, dropping temperatures down into the 30s and 40s for our afternoon. And then as we go through Saturday night into Sunday morning, the clouds will start to move away and temperatures will be dropping down into the 20s and 30s across our area with partly cloudy skies. All right, we'll be back with more news and weather when we return. Oh, I guess it's you.
Topping World Watch today, 8 Islamic State militants are dead and 9 others have been arrested by Afghanistan's ruling Taliban after a series of raids in Kabul. During the raid, various weapons and explosive devices were confiscated by Taliban security forces. A spokesman for the Taliban government said the raids are targeted against key ISIS militants who organized attacks on Kabul's Langan Hotel, military airport, and Pakistan's embassy. Residents reported the sounds of explosions and gunshots. The Islamic State in Khorasan province, a regional group of the Islamic State, has been increasing attacks in Afghanistan since the Taliban took over in 2021 after U.S. and NATO forces withdrew from the country. A dramatic rescue in India as a railway police officer saves a passenger's life. The passenger falling as he tried to depart the train Sunday, his legs getting wedged between the train and the track. A railway police officer ran to the rescue, pulling him out of danger. India's Ministry of Railways is issuing a statement along with the release of the video cautioning passengers to not board a moving train. And a new study finds Earth's glaciers will melt at an alarming rate for the next 80 years. Our planet has 215,000 glaciers, but researchers used satellite data to determine up to half of them could be gone by the year 2100. And that's the best case scenario. If global temperatures rise to what the United Nations is forecasting, then the United States, Central Europe, Western Canada, and New Zealand could lose almost all of their glaciers. That would be a big problem because glaciers provide fresh water to nearly 2 billion people. They also contribute to rising sea levels when they melt, which could threaten billions of people living in coastal areas. That's a look at some of our biggest headlines from around the world. Here's Sam Lane with another look at your forecast.
Well, we don't have any glaciers out there this morning. It is cold with temperatures below freezing in most areas. You can see temperatures generally in the mid-20s up to the north, with Iola with 25 right now, and 24 in Parsons, 25 in Independence, 28 in Nowata. A little bit warmer here in the metro where we're sitting at around 30 degrees. But when you factor in the wind, it feels a little bit colder. 20 right now is what it feels like in Yates Center, 22 in Neodesha, 27 in Fort Scott, 22 over there in Stockton. A little bit warmer down to the south in Anderson, where they're currently feeling like 29 degrees. And this morning we're running about around 2 to 5 degrees colder than we were last night or last morning. So we're a little bit on the colder side this morning, but that was kind of expected. This afternoon we're going to see mostly sunny skies in the morning, but then as we go through the day, the clouds will start to increase. 54 for our high, but lunchtime 52 with partly cloudy skies. Then probably mostly cloudy by 5 p.m. with a temperature of 50. And then by 8 o'clock, 47 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. And those cloudy skies are going to continue through the overnight hours. But this afternoon, we should make it up into the low to mid 50s across our area. But then we're going to see the showers developing up towards the north as we go through tomorrow morning behind this cold front and warm front system that's going to be draped across our area. And it's going to be kind of a chilly shower rain up there. And then once we go through the day on Saturday, the front sweeps through, the winds turn around to the northwest, and colder air starts to spill in from the north and west. So we'll see temperatures in the 30s in the northwestern sections by Saturday afternoon. And then by Sunday morning, we'll see readings generally back in the 20s and 30s across our area with mostly fair skies. Then on Sunday afternoon, the ridge of high pressure starts to build back in. So temperatures start responding back up into the mid to upper 40s, especially down in Oklahoma, where they get could get close to 50. Then as we go through Sunday night into Monday morning, some clouds come by, but the winds are going to be turning back around to the south, and lows will generally be right around the freezing mark once again across our area. Rain chances, not really that much today, but as we go through the evening hours and especially into tomorrow morning, that's when the rain chances really start to tick up. Rainfall amounts are not going to be all that impressive. We're going to be looking at light amounts, especially up towards the north and east. That's where the best chance of rain is going to be. Maybe around 500ths, maybe a tenth in some locations in some isolated spots. Over the next 7 days, 54 today, then 49 tomorrow after starting out at 42, so not much of a range in temperature tomorrow with those morning showers. Again, the best chance will be up to the north. Then as we move into Sunday, a little bit on the chilly side, especially in the afternoon with a high of only 47, but Monday we get close to 60 degrees with mild conditions extending right on through the rest of the week, and then a chance of rain on Thursday with a high of 52, and then if we extend it out, another chance of rain as we move into Sunday with a high of 52 after a cool weekend next weekend. So looks like it's going to be a pretty nice day, but just watch out for those showers, especially tomorrow morning, and especially for those folks up towards the north. More news and weather when we return right after this.
Right now at 6, an early Thursday morning robbery has police in Wheaton, Missouri looking for the identity of the suspect and help from the public.
And we're looking at mostly fair skies this morning, looking out over our tower cam, but there are some showers in the forecast. We'll have the details.
Also, the Miami School District begins work on 2 new construction projects, including a central office and secondary classroom.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. I'm Cale Chapman.
And I'm Sam Lane, sitting in for Chris Warner this morning.
Heck yeah. All right. Well, it's been an exciting morning so far.
It has. We've had lots of things going on this morning. We're getting used to it. I think we're starting to wake up a little bit, maybe on our second cup of joe or something.
Heck yeah.
If you're heading out this morning, it's a little bit chilly out there, so if you're driving, just be aware of that, and also send the kiddos out with some jackets, as you can see on our tower cam shot. Pretty nice morning shaping up. The sun hasn't come up just yet, but that will a little bit later. Radar's all clear, but that's going to be changing too as we go through the next couple of days. We're starting to see some showers down in Oklahoma this morning, but as we zoom out, you can see the clouds are starting to thicken up now across Oklahoma, starting to spread in from west to east across our region. This is all part of a storm system that's organizing over the Rocky Mountains, and as it pulls out into the plain states, we're going to see those showers increase, especially up towards the north. Temperatures right now are quite chilly this morning, as I mentioned, generally in the 20s up to the north, with 26 in Iola, 27 in Fort Scott, 27 in Nevada this morning, 23 in Stockton for one of the coolest readings, 26 in Nowata, 27 in Veneta as well as Jay, and 29 in Joplin. But when you factor in the wind, it feels a little bit chillier out there. 21 in Yates Center, 22 in Stockton, 27 in Fort Scott, and for our friends in Parsons, feels like 23 right now, and 21 down in Miami with a little bit of a wind chill for those folks. Temperatures this morning are generally about 5 degrees cooler than they were last morning. And so, but we're going to see temperatures warming up once the sun gets up. We'll see readings jumping up into the 50s. Matter of fact, our high is going to be around 54. And then as we have the lunchtime, around 52 degrees, and then 5 o'clock 50, and then down into the 40s by the time we get into the 8 o'clock hour. So we'll have all the details on our forecast, including those weekend showers, when we come back.
All right, well, thank you, Sam. 5 mutual aid departments responded to a commercial structure fire in Delaware County, Oklahoma. On Thursday, reports at about 1:15 in the morning alerted Cowskin Fire Department to a commercial structure fire at King Point Resort on Grand Lake. Firefighters responded and battled the blaze for an extended period of time during the early morning. Additional firefighters from Grove, Butler, Hickory Grove, Monkey Island Fireboat, and the Seneca Cayuga Tribal Fire Department all joined the fight. Units remained on scene until 8 a.m. Authorities say there were no injuries to occupants or firefighters. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. And authorities in Wheaton, Missouri are searching for an armed robber. The robber happened early Thursday morning. Authorities say the man robbed the Fast Trip in Wheaton at gunpoint. They say he demanded money and left the store with an undisclosed amount. He then drove north on Missouri 86. If you have any information that might help, you should contact the Wheaton Police Department. And Pittsburgh drivers should expect some detours today. Road construction begins on South Rouse Street. Traffic will be moved from the west side of South Rouse Street to the east side of South Rouse. Drivers will also be able to use East Quincy Street at the Rouse intersection. For a full breakdown of detour routes, download the KOAM News Now app. There's a healthcare option in Joplin for older residents. On Thursday, Mercy held a ribbon-cutting ceremony for its new Mercy 65 Prime Plus clinic. It will focus on serving Medicare patients, those 65 years and older. Officials say it provides a more intensive primary care experience, which is frequently needed for seniors.
Are going to have longer appointment times. So instead of a typical 15-minute doctor appointment, they're going to be 30 minutes. If they're having their annual wellness visit, we have that planned for an hour. So we have plenty of time to go over any of their needs, make sure that they have everything taken care of at home. We can set them up with home health if that's what they need, really just spending time with them.
The clinic is located at 2216 East 32nd Street between Rangeline and Connecticut Avenue. On Thursday, the Miami School District began work on 2 new construction projects. One of those projects is a new central office. It will be built at the current site of the Health and Wellness Building near Nichols Elementary and will house administrative offices and the school board meeting room. At Miami High School, the district is building a secondary classroom that'll include new locker rooms, an updated weight room, and a new accessible entrance for all students.
Is a classroom space, a pretty large classroom, about the size of a basketball court, if you want to kind of give a frame of reference, that will have different physical education equipment in it. So some weights, probably some ellipticals, some treadmills, different things. We provide the equipment. So the building is being funded through the federal money, but we'll provide the equipment.
The classroom addition will cost $2.1 million and is paid for by the American Rescue Plan. For the administration building, the district sold old buildings to cover the $1.2 million cost. Habitat for Humanity is hosting a job fair in Joplin. All interested job seekers should head out to the Joplin Elks Lodge on 1802 West 26th Street on January 10th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Participating employers include Red Collar, Refresco, NutriBlend, Jasper Products, General Mills, Eagle Pitcher, Darlington Snacks, Blue Buffalo, and Missouri Job Center. The historic 118th session of Congress remains on hold with still no Speaker of the House for Republicans. After 3 days and 11 ballots, Representative Kevin McCarthy still cannot garner the votes to take the gavel, though the California Republican says there are signs of progress being made. The stalemate continues despite McCarthy offering a number of concessions to a group of nearly 24 far-right members of his own party. Amid reports where he's working on more compromises, some Republicans suggest they are concerned he may be offering too many concessions. We'll have more on the power struggle for congressional speakership taking place on the 2nd anniversary of the Capitol riots later on in the show. And that's a look on this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, details continue to emerge in the murder of 4 college students in Moscow, Idaho, including how police identified the suspect. Plus, for years, doctors have said an active lifestyle can improve a person's health. Now, one study says travel can also improve a person's health. We'll have the details. And meteorologist Sam Lane has your complete weather forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back. Topping Nation Watch this morning. On Thursday, Brian Kohberger made his first court appearance in Idaho to face 4 charges of first-degree murder in the stabbing deaths of Madison Mogan, Kaylee Gonclaves, Ethan Chapin, and Xana Kerdoodle. CBS's Omar Villafranca was inside the courtroom and has details.
Kohberger smiled at his court-appointed attorney and appeared calm as gruesome new details were revealed about how he may have stalked the victims and how police tracked him down through DNA, phone records, and a witness. In a court document released today, police say DNA from trash obtained from the Kohberger's home in Pennsylvania matched DNA on a knife sheath like this one found next to one of the victims' bodies. Also in the document, a roommate identified as Dylan Mortensen told police she thought she heard Kaylee Gonzalez say, "There's someone here," around 4 a.m. Mortensen told police after hearing someone crying and a man saying something to the effect, "It's okay, I'm going to help you." She opened her door and saw a figure clad in black clothing and a mask that covered the person's mouth and nose walking towards her. Mortensen described the figure as a tall male with bushy eyebrows. We also learned police say cell phone records show Kohberger's phone near the murder scene at least 12 times before the night of the stabbings, beginning in August. Casey Jordan is a criminologist with no connection to this case.
I would not be at all surprised if there is more information that's going to come forth. Remember, in the probable cause affidavit, they just need to put enough evidence to substantiate the arrest. They don't have to show all the evidence that they have that might come out at trial. So there could be other things.
Brian Kohberger will remain in the Leyte County Jail without bail. He's expected back in court next Thursday. And that's a look at one of today's top national stories. Here's Sam Lane with your weather forecast.
Thank you very much. If you're planning your day, it looks like a pretty nice one out there with a high of 54 degrees, around 52 at lunchtime, 50 at 5 o'clock when you head home from work, and 47 by 8 o'clock this evening. Sending out the kids this morning, well, looks like it's going to be a pretty chilly one out there. You'll need to put them with a coat. 30 degrees this morning, and then when they come home from school, looks like temperatures are going to be right around 54 degrees with mostly cloudy skies and east-southeasterly winds at around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Your future track forecast looks like this. We're going to be seeing temperatures in the mid to upper 50s across our area, 40s up towards the north with increasing clouds as we go through the day. Then as we head into tonight, that's when we expect the showers and storms to develop up towards the north. Not a whole lot of rain expected from this, but just some light showers and temperatures in the 30s up there. So it'll kind of be a chilly rain. And then down here in the metro area, we'll see temperatures in the 40s with that storm system. Then as we go through the day on Saturday, the front moves through, winds turn around to the north and west, and temperatures start dropping into the 30s up in places like Yates Center and Eureka. Meanwhile, it'll be in the 40s with northwesterly winds. Then as we go through Saturday night into Sunday morning, the clouds start to move away and temperatures drop down into the 20s and 30s once again on northerly winds. Then as we head into Sunday afternoon, we're going to see temperatures in the 40s across our area, close to 50 down south in Oklahoma, maybe touching 50 there in Pryor. Then as we head through Sunday afternoon into Sunday night, we're going to see temperatures dropping into the 30s, once again right around freezing, but at least we'll have a south wind, which means that we'll have a pretty nice day for your Monday. Rain chances over the weekend, not really picking up until about in the late night and early morning hours. That's when the rain chances really start to pick up. And rainfall amounts are not going to be all that impressive. They're going to be light, especially up towards the north where that's the best chance of the rain. Around maybe around 5/100ths to 1/10 of an inch of rain. That's about it, is what we're expecting from this particular system. Unfortunately, it's not going to really help out our drought situation, as the drought is still in control in southeastern Kansas and is now starting to make its way back into Missouri if we don't get some rain soon. We do have several chances though. Saturday morning, and then another chance of rain on Thursday, and then yet another chance of rain as we head towards next weekend. We'll have more news and weather when we return. Welcome back, everyone. It looks like it's a pretty nice morning shaping up across the area. You can see it on our tower cam looking at 7th and Range Line toward the north and east. We're waiting for the sun to come up, but it's a pretty nice day so far. Radar is all clear, but that's going to be changing as we go through the weekend, especially tomorrow morning, especially for our friends up towards the north. That's where the best chance of showers is going to be. Already, we're starting to see the clouds moving in from the west to east across Oklahoma and western Kansas, producing a few light showers in Oklahoma right now. That's going to continue through the afternoon. More and more clouds are going to be rolling in from the west, and that's when we start to see the rain chances start to go up just a little bit. Temperatures right now are very chilly. If you're heading out, 23 in Parsons, one of the coolest readings, 26 in Yates Center, also in Iola, 25 in Fredonia, 29 in Carthage, and 23 for our friends over in Stockton. But when you factor in the wind, it feels a little bit colder out there. 21 in Yates Center, 22 in Stockton, 27 in Fort Scott, 22 in Columbus. Pick out your hometown, see what it feels like out there. Temperatures this morning are generally running around 2 to 5 degrees colder than they were last morning. So, but you know, that's not too bad for January. If you're planning your day, this is what we're expecting. A high of around 54 degrees today under partly cloudy skies. Lunchtime temperature of 52, then as we head through 5 o'clock, 50 degrees, and then as we head towards the evening hours, a temperature of around 47 degrees with the clouds really starting to increase from west to east. And the bus stop forecast, well, the kids had out of school this morning, 30 degrees with northeasterly winds, so they'll definitely need a jacket. And then as they head home from school today, mostly cloudy skies with a temperature of around 54 degrees with east-southeasterly winds. Now be sure to stay with us because we have more news and weather coming up right after this.
Topping Health Watch this morning, new research suggests a rare liver disease once thought incurable can be cured after all. A study published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences found a new drug called NORA1 can reverse allele syndrome, a genetic disorder affecting 4,000 babies a year. More testing is needed before the drug is available to the public. And a common blood pressure medication could be used to treat post-traumatic stress disorder. Research from Augusta University shows the drug Clondine can reduce the blood levels of stress hormones associated with PTSD. 72% of PTSD patients reported some improvement after taking the drug. People who travel tend to be healthier than those who stay home. Researchers with the University College London found those who regularly traveled even 15 miles away from home reported they were in generally better health. Doctors say increased social participation is linked to that improved health. And an unusual therapy for Parkinson's disease is gaining popularity. Meg Oliver shows us how the game of ping pong is helping patients with the neurological disorder.
3 years ago, Robin Seltzer was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. The once athletic 67-year-old symptoms were so bad he could barely get out of bed.
I lost 70 pounds. I was flapping.
Along with physical therapy and medication to manage symptoms like tremors, stiffness, and slowness, Dr. Alana Klar at Hackensack University Medical Center offered a surprising option.
When your doctor first said you should do ping pong, what was your reaction?
My reaction was, how could that help anybody?
Dr. Clark co-founded the New Jersey chapter of Ping Pong Parkinson.
It incorporates a focus on balance, hand-eye coordination, and the rhythm or pace of reciprocal play. So it really hits the trifecta of physical, cognitive, and social activities.
Every Tuesday night in River Edge, New Jersey, Parkinson's patients, or pongers as they're called, play with volunteers of all ages called hitters.
When I start up, I'm a little stiff, my shots are a little bit off, my timing's a little bit off, and I'm a little bit frustrated. And then after about 15 or 20 minutes, suddenly things kick in.
How long does that last in terms of feeling a little bit looser and more relaxed?
I'd say it lasts at least a couple of days.
The goal is to improve attention, movement, mood, and social connection among people striving to outpace a progressive disease.
It's kind of opened me up to new experiences. Like I've thought over the last few weeks, maybe I could get back on skis. You know, even if it's just going down the bunny slope, I really miss that.
Robin told me he finds ping pong so intoxicating, he is training for next year's World Championships. When you look at how much his physical condition has improved in the 8 months he's been playing, you can bet he'll make it there. Meg Oliver, CBS News, New York.
Parkinson's disease is more common in men than women and impacts 1 in every 100 people aged 60 and older. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
All right, thank you very much, Cale. We're looking at pretty nice morning shaping up so far on Tower Cam, looking off towards the north and east. Not a whole lot going on. We're just waiting for the sun to come up, as I'm sure it will. All right, let's take a look at the radar. It's all clear, but that's going to be changing as we head over the next 24 to 36 hours. We're going to start to see some showers developing across our area, but right now it's dry, so let's enjoy that. Clouds are starting to increase, though, from west to east across our area. Now spilling into Oklahoma and western Kansas, even producing a few sprinkles down in central Oklahoma this morning. Temperatures, they're quite chilly this morning, so if you're heading out, you'll definitely need a jacket with temperatures generally in the mid-20s, especially up toward the north. 25 in Iola, 24 in Parsons, also the same in Fredonia and Sedan for some of the coolest readings. 29 in Carthage, 30 in Neosho, and 30 also for our friends down in Bentonville. When you factor in the wind, it feels a little tad cooler. 21 in Yates Center right now is what it feels like. 22 in Neodesha as well as Sedan. 31 in Nevada. 25 in Columbus. And we're running about 5 degrees colder this morning than we were last morning. But if you're planning your day, we're expecting those cold temperatures to make way towards the 50s with a high of 54 this afternoon, starting out at in the 30s this morning, but then rising into the 50s. By lunchtime around 52, 50 at 5 o'clock, and 47 at 8 p.m. If you're sending the kids out to school, they're going to need a jacket this morning with temperatures in the 30s, around 30 degrees at bus stop time. And then by the time they come home, we're going to be looking at temperatures in the mid-50s with mostly cloudy skies. Your future track looks like this: partly to mostly cloudy skies by later on this afternoon with highs in the 50s across the area. Then as we go through tonight, we're going to see those scattered showers developing up towards the north as we move into Saturday morning. Then by Saturday afternoon, that front moves through. Temperatures start to drop a little bit behind that front with northwesterly winds. And then as we head into Sunday morning, we're going to see temperatures in the around freezing across our area with mostly fair skies. And then Sunday afternoon looks pretty good with highs in the 40s. And then Sunday night, we're still going to see temperatures pretty close to freezing across the area with south winds. Rain chances are going to start to increase as we head towards, of course, tonight into tomorrow morning, and the lighter amounts are going to be way up towards the north. We'll have more weather and news when we return.
Right now at 6:30, an early Thursday morning robbery has police in Wheaton, Missouri looking for the identity of the suspect and help from the public.
And we have a chilly start to the day as we start the weekend, and we also have some rain chances in our forecast as well. We'll have all the details.
Also, the Miami School District begins work on 2 new construction projects, including a central office and secondary classroom.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6:30. I'm Cale Chapman.
And I'm Sam Lane, sitting in for Chris Warner this morning, who deserves a day off every once in a while.
He does, yeah, very much so.
He's a hard worker.
For sure, for sure. Well, how's that weather looking?
It's looking pretty good. We have a nice morning shaping up across the area. We will see some clouds as we go through the afternoon, but nothing all that bad right now. You can see on our tower cam looking over northeastern sections of Joplin. Pretty nice morning so far. And if you're traveling this morning, it looks like the travel forecast is looking green light all the way across the board from 8 a.m. all the way to 5 p.m. Just some increasing clouds today. No real travel problems expected. Radar is clear. We're not seeing anything on radar either, but that's going to change as we go into tonight and tomorrow morning, especially for our more northern counties. Satellite view shows some clouds starting to move in from the west, and these clouds are going to continue to thicken up and move across our area this afternoon. And some of those clouds will start to produce some showers, like I said, as we go into the overnight hours. But first, we have to get through some cold air this morning. Temperatures are generally in the 20s, 25 in Stockton, 25 in Iola, 24 in Fredonia for one of the coolest readings. Also, Sedan's checking with 24. A little bit warmer down in Jay, where they're currently sitting at 26, and 30 degrees for our friends in northwestern Arkansas at Bentonville. But when you factor in the wind, it feels like 27 in Siloam Springs, same thing in Anderson. A little bit colder up there in Yates Center where it feels like 21. So you're definitely going to need the jacket this morning. If you're planning your day, we're expecting mostly fair skies this morning, but then increasing clouds as we head through the day. 54 for your high, 52 for the lunchtime, 50 on the drive home, and 47 degrees for your 8 o'clock hour. All right, let's take a look at the bus stop forecast. Sending out the kids to school this morning, they're going to need a jacket with temperatures in the upper 20s to around 30 degrees. But as they come home from school this afternoon, temperatures around 54 with mostly cloudy skies and the east-southeasterly winds. Temperatures this afternoon are going to warm into the 50s on southeasterly winds, 40s up towards the north and west. Then as we go in through the overnight hours, you're going to see those showers developing up towards our north. Kind of a chilly rain at that, with temperatures in the 30s and lower 40s up there. Then as we head through the day on Saturday, a front's going to sweep through. Our winds are going to turn around to the north and west, and temperatures will start dropping once again into the 30s by Saturday night. And by Sunday morning, we'll see lows once again in the 20s and 30s with mostly fair skies. Then Sunday afternoon, temperatures should rebound into the mid-40s with around 46 in Joplin. And then as we head through Sunday afternoon into Monday morning, we're going to see temperatures in the 30s once again as we head into Monday morning. All right, rain chances start to increase as we go through the night into overnight. And then the best chance of rain is again up to the north with amounts generally under 1/10 of an inch. Not expecting a whole lot from the system, and that's certainly not going to help the drought situation across our area as well. We'll have the complete 7 and 10 day forecast when we come back.
All right, well, thank you, Sam. Authorities in Wheaton, Missouri are searching for an armed robber. The robbery happened early Thursday morning. Authorities say the man robbed the Fast Trip in Wheaton at gunpoint. They say he demanded money and left the store with an undisclosed amount. He then drove north on Missouri 86, and if you have any information that might help, you should contact the Wheaton Police Department. There's a healthcare option in Joplin for older residents. On Thursday, Mercy held a ribbon-cutting ceremony for its new Mercy 65 Prime Plus clinic. It will focus on serving Medicare patients, those 65 years and older. Officials say it provides a more intensive primary medical care experience, which is frequently needed for seniors.
Are going to have longer appointment times. So instead of a typical 15-minute doctor appointment, they're going to be 30 minutes. If they're having their annual wellness visit, we have that planned for an hour. So we have plenty of time to go over any of their needs, make sure that they have everything taken care of at home. We can set them up with home health if that's what they need. Really just spending time with them.
The clinic is located at 2216 East 32nd Street between Rangeline and Connecticut Avenue. On Thursday, the Miami, Oklahoma School District began work on 2 new construction projects. One of those projects is a new central office. It will be built at the current site of the Health and Wellness Building near Nichols Elementary and will house administrative officers and the school board meeting room. At Miami High School, the district is building a secondary classroom that will include new locker rooms, an updated weight room, and a new accessible entrance for all students.
Is a classroom space, a pretty large classroom, about the size of a basketball court, if you want to kind of give a frame of reference, that will have different physical education equipment in it. So some weights, probably some ellipticals, some treadmills, different things. We provide the equipment. So the building is being funded through the federal money, but we'll provide the equipment.
The classroom addition will cost $2.1 million and is paid for by the American Rescue Plan. For the administration building, the district sold old buildings to cover the $1.2 million cost. Lawmakers are heading back to Capitol Hill today for a historic 4th day of voting, trying to elect a Speaker of the House. While the votes haven't changed, Representative Kevin McCarthy insists he's still optimistic that they're making progress. Jared Hill has more on what McCarthy may be willing to give up to win the gavel. Today's vote taking place as we mark 2 years since the January 6th attack on the Capitol.
The state of Oklahoma has
in the Ferris wheel of failed votes.
A speaker has not been elected.
After 3 days and 11 ballots, Representative Kevin McCarthy blocked yet again from taking the gavel. Late Thursday, the California Republican said there were signs, though, of progress.
I think we've got a little movement, so we'll see.
As Democrats continued to coalesce behind their new leader, Hakeem Jeffries, McCarthy didn't pick up any new votes from the faction of nearly 24 far-right members of his party. Florida's Matt Gaetz instead threw the former president's hat in the ring. Donald John Trump. This comes despite McCarthy reportedly offering multiple concessions to the group, including making it possible for any single House member to call for a vote to oust the Speaker.
We need to get to a point where we start evaluating what life after Kevin McCarthy looks like.
But McCarthy isn't backing down. Amid reports he's working on even more compromises, some Republicans suggest they're concerned that he may be offering too many concessions.
I mean, there's just a list of stupid platitudes.
At least half of the 20 or so Republicans voting against McCarthy have also denied the results of the 2020 presidential election, a belief that fueled one of the darkest days on Capitol Hill. Their fight for Speaker now continuing on this second anniversary of the deadly attacks on January 6th. Jared Hill, CBS News.
In Washington today, President Biden will mark the assault on the Capitol by honoring some of the police officers who fought the rioters. Federal prosecutors have charged more than 950 people, and a congressional panel investigating the attack has heard from more than 1,000 witnesses. That's a look at our top news stories. Coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. If it's Friday, you know what it means. We've got Shannon Becker in the studio to give us his big 3 stories of the week.
And we'll also take a look at your weekend forecast, which includes some showers. We'll have the details when we return.
Well, welcome back. It's time to close out the week with our own Shannon Becker and his big 3 stories. Welcome back, Shannon.
Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
How is it during the week? You like it?
I do. I like it a lot.
Yeah,
it's pretty nice.
Seeing the darkness, I guess you might say, in the early mornings.
Yeah, it was pretty dark when I got here
Yeah,
before.
yeah, I bet. Let's take a look at the big 3 stories live and breaking news this week. Our number 3 story, most watched and talked about on our website, a police pursuit the other night. In fact, it was a possible DWI pursuit of a vehicle, no tags, also across the northern edge of Newton County. It started about downstream Boulevard on the western edge of the county and then ended up on the banks of Shoal Creek near the Undercliff restaurant. They never located the male subject. In fact, I looked again last night, no charges for the person. They do know who it was because he left behind a cell phone, a wallet, and obviously a car as well. Yeah, I know. Why flee? Whatever. We'll find about more details on that later. Our number 2 story, live and breaking news. This was yesterday morning. Heard you already talking about it in Berry County. Fast Trip robbed at gunpoint. Another one of those crimes. With all the cameras nowadays, why would you want to do this? Well, a man with a mask, prescription glasses, walks into the Fast Trip about 12:45 early Thursday morning, demands cash with a gun in hand. Then he leaves northbound on Missouri 86 into the darkness. They're still asking for people to submit tips. You can call the Wheaton Police Department or the Berry County non-emergency number for more details if you have information. And then our number 1 story, it was a week ago this morning. In fact, on the Missouri-Kansas line, an Oklahoma man was killed in a crash. It happened about 11 o'clock the night prior. It wasn't noticed until about 6:30 that morning. Vehicle went off the road and slammed into a tree. A passenger took him about 6 hours to wander through the darkness before he got to a convenience store. And there was a language barrier, and they finally located, there are 3 states right there, finally located the wreckage there on that Kansas-Missouri line. A 21-year-old man from Miami, Oklahoma died in that crash. And our bonus story is kind of bittersweet. It was on Wednesday, they had a deployment ceremony for the Missouri National Guard 294th Engineer Battalion in Carthage. And then yesterday, a lot of people were asking what was happening at the Joplin Regional Airport. Well, the battalion, they had a charter flight and they flew out. They're going to the Horn of Africa. And the Missouri National Guard Engineer Battalion, what they'll be doing, they'll be building bridges and roads and infrastructure for military operations there. They should be gone until late 2023, so a lot of people are sad about seeing them go, but they're not necessarily going to be on the front lines of battle. They'll be building a lot and doing stuff like that. So it's an honorable thing, but it's kind of their time. So
yeah,
off they go. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's a very important job. You got to get all that stuff set up. So
yeah, I have a couple of friends who are in that group, so that's really neat. Yeah.
Well, there you go.
That's your big 3 this week. You can check it out at KOAM News Now and our Joplin News First tab.
All righty. Well, thank you, Shannon.
Right. I'll be back next hour.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Cool beans. We'll catch you after this break. We take this time now to honor today's 4-state hero, William Hall. William Hall served in the Navy. He served in the Gulf War from 1981 to 1982 on the USS America. During his service, he earned the USCG Special Operations Service Ribbon and the National Defense Service Medal. A native of Joplin, Missouri, we thank you. Today's 4-state hero, William Hall. Alrighty, and birthdays today. Happy birthday to Chief Miller. He turns 9.
In Seneca, Missouri.
And this is from Dad, Mom, Maddie, Emma, and Nanny.
And we have Ellie Carson, who's 9 years old as well, in Girard.
We've got Jackson Joe Barcelona, who's turning 13 today.
And Kinsey Keeling is also turning 13, and she's in Parsons, Kansas. Happy birthday.
We've got a double birthday here. Yeah. Hannah Hare is turning 14. She shares a birthday with her grandmother, Mary Nunson. Hannah is turning 14. They're both from Chanute.
And Bailey Howard is turning 15 years old today from Stella, Missouri. Birthday is Saturday. Love, Mom, Sean, and the boys.
John Podesek is turning 17 in Pittsburgh, Kansas today.
And Josh Thompson from Riverton, Kansas is turning 22 today.
Happy birthday to Melinda Buchanan. She's turning 40 in Jasper, Missouri today.
How about Robin Harrell from Pittsburgh, Kansas, turning 43-year-old today? Happy birthday to you.
And Mark Best, who's turning 56.
And Dave Ashmore from Arma, turning 70 today. Congratulations and happy birthday to you, Dave.
Joe Kleinzen from Erie, Kansas is turning 72. He's pictured here with his great-granddaughter, Vanessa Rose. Happy birthday, Joe.
And Larry Brown turning 78 today in Thayer, Kansas. Happy birthday, Larry.
Very cool. So, Steve and Lori Freeman is celebrating their 20th anniversary.
Their 28th.
28th, yeah, that's right. Sorry. Bill McDermott, he's 82 from Crestline, Kansas.
And Camelia Newman from Columbus had the birthday Saturday. And that's happy birthday from your friends at Medical Lodges in Columbus. Don't forget, you can submit your birthdays to birthdays@koamtv.com or birthdays@koamnewsnow.com, either place. And of course, you don't want to forget about joining the koamnewsnow.com birthday club. You can win all kinds of different coupons, gift certificates, discounts, things like that if you join the birthday club. And of course, you can do that on our website at koamnewsnow.com. All right, let's take a look at that best stop forecast if you're sending out the kids to school. A few clouds this morning, but the clouds are really going to start increasing as we head through the day with temperatures in the 30s this morning. So they're definitely going to need a jacket with those northeasterly winds. Then as we go through the afternoon, we're going to see the clouds really start to increase and a temperature of around 54 degrees by the time they're heading home today. East-southeasterly winds at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Your future track forecast looks like this. Clouds coming in from the west today with temperatures in the 50s across our area. By 6 o'clock tonight, we'll see temperatures around 50 degrees, a little bit warmer down to the south, cooler up towards the north. Then as we go through the overnight hours, we're going to have a warm front move through the area and scattered showers developing across our region, especially to the north and east. Then as we head through the set day on Saturday, a cold front will sweep through. Our winds will turn around to the north and west. Temperatures will start dropping into the 30s in the northwestern sections, 40s for the rest of us. Then as we go through Saturday night into Sunday morning, we'll see lows dropping down into the 20s and around 30 degrees, around freezing across most of the area with mostly fair skies. Then Sunday afternoon, temperatures are going to be in the 40s across the area with a ridge of high pressure building in, with the winds turning around to a more westerly direction, which is a warm direction for us, a little bit warmer down to the south, a little bit cooler up towards the north. Then as we head into Sunday night into Monday morning, we're going to see partly cloudy skies and then temperatures right around freezing once again on Monday morning, but at least we'll have southerly winds keeping the temperature in check a little bit, with dew points also starting to increase as well. Dew points are going to help with the rainfall, especially up towards the north, and that's when the rain chances really start to increase as we go into the overnight and early morning hours. Rainfall amounts are not going to be all that generous. We're going to see generally rainfall totals around 2 to 3 hundredths here in the metro area. Then as you go further to the north and east, they may pick up close to 1/10 of an inch up towards the north. Really not going to help with the drought situation, because right now we're looking at extremely dry, exceptional drought, and still continuing from about Chanute back towards Sedan in south central Kansas and north central Oklahoma. That's surrounded by extreme drought, which encompasses a large segment of southeastern Kansas, and then severe drought extending now, starting to get creeping back over into western Missouri. The only place in our area that really is not experiencing a drought right now is over there in Lawrence County, Berry County, eastern McDonald County, and down in northwestern Arkansas in Benton County. Everyone else is still on the dry side, and hopefully we can get some rain to alleviate that. The best chance of rain in the immediate future is, of course, tonight and tomorrow morning with some scattered showers. The best chance of that is again up to the north. Notice the short thermometer on Saturday. We start out at 42, make it up to only 49. Then we start to get into the more partly cloudy skies as we begin the work week, with temperatures approaching 60 on Monday. That'll feel great. 53 on Tuesday, and then 58 on Wednesday with cloudy skies, with the next chance of rain on Thursday. And then as we go into Friday morning, some of the models are indicating some of this rain could change over to a sleet or mixture. We'll have to wait and see on that, but nevertheless, Friday morning 31, 46 Friday afternoon, and then 47 on next Saturday with mostly sunny skies, and then another chance of rain as we go into Sunday with a high of 52 with a 30% chance of scattered showers across our area. So it looks like this weekend is not going to be a total washout. Just tomorrow morning, we'll see those scattered showers, again, mainly up towards the north, and they'll be light. And then Saturday afternoon, the front will move through, change temperatures a little bit, and drop our temperatures just a tad as we go into Sunday morning. And then on Monday, we're going to see temperatures warming back up close to 60 degrees, so that'll feel pretty nice. Stay tuned because we have more weather coming our way when we return.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. 5 mutual aid departments respond to a commercial structure fire in Delaware County, Oklahoma. On Thursday, reports at about 1:15 in the morning alerted Cowskin Fire Department to a commercial structure fire at King Point Resort on Grand Lake. Firefighters responded and battled the blaze for an extended period of time during the early morning. Additional firefighters from Grove, Butler, Hickory Grove, Monkey Island Fireboat, and the Seneca-Cayuga Tribal Fire Department all joined the fight. Units remained on scene until 8 a.m. Authorities say there were no injuries to occupants or firefighters. The cause of the fire is under investigation. Authorities in Wheaton, Missouri are searching for an armed robber. The robbery happened early Thursday morning. Authorities say that the man robbed the Fast Trip in Wheaton at gunpoint. They say he demanded money and left the store with an undisclosed amount. He then drove north on Missouri 86. If you have any information that might help, you should contact the Wheaton Police Department. And Pittsburgh drivers should expect some detours starting today. Road construction begins on South Rouse Street. Traffic will be moved from the west side of South Rouse Street to the east side of South Rouse. Drivers will also be able to use the East Quincy Street intersection at Rouse. For a full breakdown of detour routes, download the KOAM News Now app. On Thursday, the Miami, Oklahoma School District began work on 2 new construction projects. One of those projects is a new central office. It will be built at the current site of the Health and Wellness Building near Nichols Elementary and will house administrative offices and the school board meeting room. At Miami High School, the district is building a secondary classroom that'll include new locker rooms, an updated weight room, and a new accessible entrance for all students. That's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
All right, and here's what you need to know for the weekend. This is the weekend forecast. We're expecting some Saturday showers and a kind of cold Sunday morning with generally readings in the 20s and 30s, and then a cool Sunday with partly cloudy skies and around 47 degrees. If you're traveling today, looks like we're going to have a green light all the way across the board from this morning's commute all the way to rush hour this evening with just some increasing clouds. No rain really expected at this point in time. It's all going to be up towards the north. Let's take a look at the airports right now. No delays at Joplin, and of course no delays anywhere in the south central region or in the upper Midwest. Chicago's looking pretty good right now. Also Minneapolis looking pretty good. Omaha if you're traveling. Also Atlanta looking good. No real problems anywhere across the country at this point in time for airport delays. As we go into the weekend, we're going to see some delays later on today in the Rocky Mountains, maybe Salt Lake City if you're flying out towards Denver. Then as we go through Saturday, it kind of jumps over us and there could be some problems down in Memphis, also New Orleans, over towards Atlanta. And then as we head through Sunday, it looks like things are going to get back to normal across our area. Over the next 7 days, we're looking at temperatures in the 50s today and then 40s as we head into the weekend. We'll have more weather when we come back. No, actually, what are we doing? Here we are. We figured it out.
Okay. Well, so coming up today at noon, we're making lighter tiramisu in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. Could be pretty yummy.
Your morning news, of course, continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings. Despite concessions, Kevin McCarthy has failed to win over Republican hardliners. And coming up on CBS Mornings News, how his bid for Speaker on the House has failed repeatedly over 3 days of voting.
Yeah, pretty historical. Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning show continues. This morning, Kavanaugh Studevin with the Carl Junction Chamber of Commerce stops by the studio to tell us about a volunteer project to benefit some worthy causes in the community. Plus, Shannon Becker is going to make his way back into the studio to recap this week's Big 3 stories.
That'll wrap things up for now. We'll see you.